Hey beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jennifer if you're new here. And today we're going to talk about something that's really close to my heart. Have you ever felt like God is this distant figure who sits above you in the clouds somewhere, telling you how to live your life? For those of us who are deconstructing from traditional structures like Christianity, that separation can feel like a heavy weight. But what happens if I were to tell you that what you've been searching out there is really in here, and you can see it in your birth chart as well? So today we're exploring pantheism. It's not just a philosophy, but like a mind shift. It's something that reveals how everything, especially you, are divine. So we're going to look at the ninth house. We're going to look at Sagittarius and Jupiter to decode exactly how your personal divinity and beliefs have been shaped. And most importantly, how to reclaim your inner light. So grab your birth chart, get comfortable, and let's dive in. Okay, so let's start with the basics. What is pantheism? Essentially, I like to say it's the phrase, we're all one, or we're all the same. To me, it's essentially a vital energy across the universe, or of the universe. And it's not necessarily, so pantheism doesn't necessarily contain a deity like some traditional religions. It's more of the thought frame that there's this divine force and energy that flows through everything. And there are actually different types of pantheism. So this is just like a really short definition of what it is. I mean, there has been like countless, books and stuff, ideas that have gone way into what pantheism means. So this is just a short little snippet of what it kind of means. As far as how I believe it and how a lot of people believe it as well. So the different types of pantheism, just to name a few, there is scientific pantheism, which is more nature focused. There's panpsychic pantheism, which is about a universal consciousness. There's something called monistic pantheism, which believes that everything is made of like the same substance. And so just to name a few traditional religions or philosophies, you can think of Stoicism, Hinduism, and Taoism. I'm going to share just like really quick my personal idea or how I came upon pantheism, because I did not know for quite a while that what I believed in is considered pantheism. I have personally deconstructed from Christianity. I grew up evangelical. And, growing up in that faith, there came a certain time where it just wasn't doing it for me anymore. I just was not finding spirituality in like the churches I went to. So, and there were several things that happened in my life that kind of brought me to dark nights of the soul. And somehow through like my own personal meditations years ago, like going on 20 years ago already, I came upon this view. And it was kind of this view of when I go outside, I deeply feel that there's this energy that connects us all together. And that's what I came upon. And like I said, it wasn't till years and years later that I realized, watching a video on YouTube that described pantheism, and that this is this view of mine actually had a name. And I didn't know that at the time. So I'm bringing this up because if you are deconstructing from traditional religions or belief systems right now, I want you to sit with this for a moment. How does it feel to know that God is not a separate entity from you? He's not sitting up in the clouds. He's not telling you from up there what you should follow. He's actually you, and he's all around you. And that you and everything else is divine. And I definitely believe this with all my heart. There is no separateness from me and everything else. So I'm going to share this little graphic I made. And it's just showing the difference between pantheism versus Christianity. And so the reason why I bring up Christianity, it could really be anything if you're coming from a different type of faith or belief system that shows like where things are kind of separated. All right. So the reason I say Christianity, because I grew up in it. I know Christianity. I followed it for a very long time until my early 20s when, like I said, I went through some difficult times in my life that led me to, like I said, dark nights of the soul. So that's really why I compare it to Christianity, because that's really all I know. I don't know other religions. I do know there are certain religions that carry similar belief systems as Christianity. But the graphic that I'm showing you kind of lets you see lets you see in a visual way to understand the difference. All right. So if you can tell, on the pantheism side, divinity is everything, right? So it's the mountains, it's the trees, it's the river, it's the people, it's the rocks, it's everything on that side carries the divinity, right, of God, or the same energy, however you want to believe it in that way. And then if you look on the Christian side, God is not necessarily in everything. He's above everything. All right. So he's above the world that he created. So there's this separation that is created there. And it's not to say he loves his creation. He will take in commune with his creation, but he's above his creation. He's not the creation itself. All right. So that's kind of the difference there in this graphic. And in my personal opinion, Christianity, especially evangelicalism, provides a hierarchy structure. So there are those that have a higher significance than others. When I say that, there's God, and then depending on your faith, then there's Jesus, or if you're Catholic, Mother Mary, the Pope, or maybe your preacher, or however you want to see it. There's a certain type of people that have more, I don't know if you would want to say divinity, but they have it's baked in that they have higher significance than you. All right. So then there's also this idea of unworthiness when it comes to Christian faith. So you're always having to ask for forgiveness for being human. All right. So after I deconstructed, this was no longer a belief of mine. And I came to the view that we all carry the same energy or force or divinity, however you want to say it. And pantheism provides this new belief, right? It's like a contra belief or an alternative belief to the current belief system. And I'm saying that especially now because as I'm recording this video, it's 2026 here in the United States. And right now there's a really big lead in evangelicalism. And not everybody fits into that. It's just how it is, all right? So, and just to say, like, this isn't just a mindset change. It's genuinely life-changing to realize that everything carries the same energy, all right? So I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. We're all in the same energy that carries the universe, that we all are divine. So that's why I thought this was really important to say. Now, for those who want to go a little bit deeper, we are going to start on the astrology part of this, because your birth chart literally holds like the blueprint to your personal divinity. And we'll start first with the 9th house. So the 9th house is like about travel, about higher education, law, but it's also about your own personal philosophy and religion. It's literally known as like the house of God or the house of morals. And if you think about it, and if you look at your own chart, if you have like the planet of Saturn in there that is very restrictive, you may feel like the weight of religious dogma. If you have like a T-square that points straight to your 9th house, same. Or if you have planets in your 9th house that have just, squares to them, square aspects, you can feel like a deep weight of bogged down by this dogma belief of religion. So this house is essentially just where we search for meaning, all right? And so take a look at your 9th house and see what's going on in there for you. The next thing I want to talk about is Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is like another clue to your personal belief systems, because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and we'll get to Jupiter here in a minute. So that's kind of how it's related, all right? So Sagittarius is an important sign, and he's somewhere in your chart. So I do whole sign traditional astrology. So in my way that I do astrology, there is a house that has Sagittarius. So I don't do like other types of astrology where signs can be intersected and they don't show up. So that's not how I personally believe. And you don't necessarily have to be a Sagittarius sun or rising or have a stellium in Sagittarius. It's just to kind of look where Sagittarius is in your chart and what house Sagittarius rules over or is in the domain of. So Sagittarius is the seeker of truth. It's a fire sign. So it gives you courage. And courage to leave old dogmatic belief systems behind that no longer fit in your life. So I kind of want you to ask yourself, what are your personal belief systems? Again, what house is Sagittarius in your chart? And take note of that. So next, we're going to go into Jupiter, the planet Jupiter. So Jupiter is known as the Great Benefic. He's also considered like a great expander of things. So sometimes it's for good, sometimes not so good, but he definitely will blow up things in your chart, depending on what's going on, all right? So, but like in this sense, Jupiter shows you where you will naturally find abundance and your own personal divinity. So let me give you just some quick examples. If Jupiter is in your first house, you may find divinity in being your authentic self, doing things for yourself, not having to rely on somebody else, or not letting somebody else tell you who to be. All right, so in the fourth house, Jupiter being in the fourth house can be finding divinity through your family or ancestry. Maybe that's a place where you find divinity through like ancestry worship or working with your ancestors. If Jupiter is in your 10th house, maybe that's where you find divinity contributing to the world. So you kind of get it? So if we bring it all together, looking at your chart this way gives you this like exact blueprint, and you can see where your personal divinity lies, where your beliefs are stemming from, what's causing certain beliefs in your life, or to consider a more pantheistic view, which we just discussed earlier. So astrology can like really deeply help deconstruct the old way of any belief systems that no longer fit. So now let's go ahead and do some practical application energy to help empower you on this journey. So you can use Jupiter as like your personal guide to your divinity, because Jupiter is a lucky planet. But here's the thing, like he gives you more luck when you trust your own wisdom and when you follow your own sovereignty. So I'm just going to break it down by element. So Jupiter by in element signs, all right? So Jupiter in a water sign, so that's Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. You might find divinity in the flow of nature or by following your intuition. Jupiter in an earth sign, so that's Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. You may find divinity in the physical world around you. Air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So you can possibly find divinity in communication. So it could be writing, learning, poetry, or just simply sharing your beliefs with others. So now Jupiter in a fire sign. So fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It's finding divinity in action and creativity. So just quickly, I'm going to also add the 9th house sign by element. So look at your 9th house. If you have a water sign in the 9th house, follow your emotions. They're not there to make you feel chaotic. They are there to help you know where your boundaries lie. And to me, I personally believe boundaries equal divinity. Because who wants to do something that you don't want to do, right? Saying no can be a powerful sentence. Earth sign in your 9th house. Maybe you're finding divinity while you're hiking, while you're gardening, walking barefoot in the sand. And this is where you find God, all right? So if you are walking on a beach, feeling the sand in your toes, feeling that water come back and forth, that's God, y'all. So an air sign, maybe it's just being amongst people, sharing your thoughts, your beliefs, just mingling among everybody. And how about a fire sign in your 9th house? So moving, action, being passionate, being creative. This is where divinity shows up for you. All right, so tell me in the comments, is pantheism a new idea for you? Or if you're like me, you're already following this kind of mindset or philosophy and you didn't even know it had a name. Is pantheism showing you that everything is divine? And how does that feel? Is it something you may consider in the future if you are deconstructing from religion? All right. So, beautiful souls, don't forget, every layer that you uncover changes how you see everything. And if this resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you on future videos. I'll see you in the next one. All right. Much love. Bye.